everything. So just so that's clear. So I'm going to record to the cloud, and it's like I'm a radio presenter. But here we go. Okay, so hello and welcome to OET Writing. This is a single class on OET Writing. Tomorrow we're doing listening because it's a mixed week of skills. We're going to focus on past perfect, just one class on past perfect. And we're going to do this in response to some of the questions last week about past perfect for OET Writing. I'm here in class with a number of people. Can you say hello, guys?
Hello.
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 We are live on Facebook. We'll be live on Facebook just for a little bit of time. Now, guys, can you see my my study document here? Hopefully, this is the right one.
Yes.
Right one.
Go on.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't see. Yeah.
You can all see that there, yeah?
Yeah.
Woo. Okay, so this is the plan for today. We're going to just ask from the beginning, why do we use past perfect? I'm sure many of you know. Then I'm going to give you a puzzle. I'm going to ask you what is the difference between two sentences, because it's really important. Then I'll be making a diagram with you with questions. Hopefully this will kind of answer almost every question you have about past perfect for OET. Then we're going to look at an example in context. So we'll look at some real case notes. And hopefully by that stage, you guys will be able to tell me, oh, this is what you can say. I can say this here. I can do it like this, okay? Then I've got some homework lined up for you as well. You can write 5 sentences for me using past perfect in an OET context. Send them to me and I'll tell you if they're right or if they're wrong, okay? So that's the plan. Now, I was thinking what we're going to do very, very quickly is we're going to answer this question, not me talk just yet. It's coming. But I want to try this one in groups, okay? So what does that mean? It means I'm going to put you into the breakout rooms, if that's okay with you guys. Yes. And I just want you to say hello. And what are we going to discuss, guys?
What do we use past perfect?
Yeah, right. Because I know loads of you know this, right? So this class is really just to clarify, hopefully, if I'm successful, clarify how you can use it correctly in OET and why to use it in OET. So let's go into the groups, okay? Quick chat, 2 or 3 minutes. Why do we use past perfect? Okay, I'm going to open the groups now. We've got in group number 1, we've got Austin, Benitha, Carol, Georgian, Joshna, and Marta. Can you go into the rooms, just ask each other that question? Hey, why do we use past perfect? What is past perfect? Maybe you need to ask that question as well. So be going into the rooms. We've got Farzad, Rachel, Rafaela. If you could go to room number 2, so Numa's in there as well. We've got Key, Merlin, and Regina in room number 3. Can you guys all just join your rooms? And I've got some people coming in late to the class, so I'll add those to the rooms as well. Patricia, you're not in any room, so I'll put you in room 5, if that's okay. Allah, you'll be in room 6, if that's okay. Allah. So you guys can all go in there. Fantastic. All right. And I'm going to quickly go into the rooms just to chat. Anyone who's oh yes, go on.
I'm just coming.
It's okay. Who is this? Is this Patricia?
It's Patricia, yeah.
Hi, Patricia. So all you need to do is, can you see the thing on your screen where it says go into the group room?
No, really.
Don't worry, this happens. So what you need to do is you need to leave. Okay.
Yeah.
And then come back. And then I'll try again.
All right. Okay.
Okay. And I'll wait here and I'll chat to
you.
anyone.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. We've also got someone else coming into the class as well. Hi, Farah. Are you there? Maybe not. She's gone into the rooms, I think. Okay. So anyone who's watching on Facebook, all of the students, they've gone into the breakout rooms just to discuss the simple or general, not simple question, the general question, why do we use past perfect? Why do we use past perfect? Put that in the broadcast for them as well. And then they're going to come back and they're going to tell me, hopefully. So Patricia, are you back?
I'm back, but I don't have the...
Oh, I need to do it now. Ready? So you should see it. You should see it now. Can you see it?
Okay, thank you for it.
You're welcome. And Farha? Are you there, Farha? Oh, Faha, well, I'll put you into one of the rooms. Maybe you can't speak at the moment. So okay, anyone watching on Facebook, they're just going to be chatting. I don't want them to spend too long chatting about it. So I'm going to go and check the rooms, make sure they're okay. But really, I'm going to bring them all back in very, very soon. Okay, so Viorica. Hi, Viorica.
Hello.
They're all chatting in the rooms about what is or why do we use past perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so if I put you into room 4, can you see that on your screen?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Fantastic, if you want to join there. And I'm
Thanks.
going to go into the rooms now. Anyone who's watching on Facebook, you won't see anything now for a few seconds. Okay, so we are back. Students will be coming back into the room very, very shortly. And they are going to be telling me why we use past perfect. I've been listening to them discussing it in the groups, and a lot of them have some very good ideas. They will be joining us shortly. I think we've got Benita here as well, and Carol coming back into the main room. Hi, guys.
Hi, sir.
Nice to hear you all chatting there. We're just going to wait for everyone to join us. Did you manage to get a little bit of discussion in there? I hope you did.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
I heard you,
Hello.
Anna. I heard you saying auxiliary verb. That was good.
Yeah.
Definitely need the old auxiliary verbs there.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So how many have we got everyone back? I think we've got 20, 21. Still waiting for a few people because we had 30, 26. Here we go. How many seconds? Okay, everyone should be back into the main room. Hello, everyone. Okay, some nice quick discussions there. I heard people saying things like auxiliary verb and like past of the past and all that kind of thing. Rafaela, I heard you saying something excellent about in the last 2 weeks, which is coming. That was really, really good. Thanks for going through that with them, Rafaela. So why do we use past perfect? I'm going to choose a random person. And why don't you just come and chat to me about it? Doesn't have to be perfect what you say, but I'm sure you have a good idea. What if we start with Carolina? Or Catalina, sorry.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so why do we use past perfect? Let's start with you. If that's okay.
I think we usually use the past perfect to make clear like an action happened in the nearly past.
In the nearly past. That would be present perfect when we say things like, oh,
Yeah.
I have just eaten a sandwich, right? We often use present perfect for things like that. Or
Can I say?
go on then. So we'll get Anna to do it because Anna was mentioning one thing, and then, but I thought that was a good comment. Go on, Anna.
Past perfect is action, what's happening first time in the past, and before it's happening something else in the same past perfect action.
Right. So we're getting a lot closer there. Anna, I agree that's basically right. Let me ask someone else just to reformulate that as well, just to make sure that we're all kind of on the same page here. Eugenia, would you agree? Do you agree with Anna about this idea of two past actions, Eugenia? Could you say that in your own words?
Yes.
Yeah, two past actions in the
two
past.
Past actions. Okay.
Yeah, that are finished now.
Kind of. They're both finished now. Yes, that's true.
Yes, and one happened before another one.
Past. So, okay, so something like this. Something like this, hopefully, Eugenia and Anna.
Yeah.
Something like that. Are we looking at this kind of idea? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about this in a bit more detail then. I'll ask someone else to come and help me here. So maybe Carol and Hala, could you guys help me here?
Yeah.
All right, so this diagram is supposed to show time, all right? So what we need is the day of writing, the current. Let's start off with that. What color should we make is today on this diagram? What do you think?
Green.
We need the green, don't we? Because that's today, the day we are writing, right? Today, the day we are writing. Okay, now Hala, if you want to just keep with me here. So here we've got today, the day we are writing. Let's call this day the, I don't know, we'd call this April 20th. Oops, can't spell April 20th. Okay, so when it comes to past perfect, we've got these actions in the past as well, right? And I've got two here, Hala. Could you expand upon this?
Past perfect is the orange because the mauve or blue like is the past, and the orange something happened before the past.
So we're talking about an action that happened before another past action. Is that right? That's a good. That's quite a natural. That seems like quite a natural way to say it, guys. I like that. So something happened before an action in the past. That's it. Which I guess is finished. Which is finished now. Yeah. So let's do a little bit. Let's get some details on this. So Hala, give me a date here in the past.
Maybe 2/10 to 2020.
So 22nd of what?
Maybe of 8.
We've got April here, so not the 8th month. But
in January.
Could say January. Let's say January, okay? So we've got January here. And let's get another date from one of you guys as well. Let me ask Dachayani, can you give me a date here? Here we've got 22nd of January for this one.
Yes, sir.
Right, and then what have we got here?
21st.
It could be the 21st, couldn't it? Or let's
21st night.
Let's say the 15th of January. Is that what you're meaning? Okay, now Daciani, give me let's think about events that might have happened. All right. So remember, we're talking about OET, writing a letter. So give me some symptoms, Daciani, that might have started on the 2nd of January. What's the problem?
The patient had experienced 2 episodes of chest pain since 15th of January. From
okay.
15th.
But I'll have to change my diagram if you say 2 episodes. Can we have just one? Is that all right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so where is it? Is it on the... Do I want to put it on the 15th or do I want to put it on the 22nd of January in the OET context, guys? You should know this already. Should I put it here? No.
Between 15th and
15th of January.
No, I'm going to say on the 15th of January only, Mr. Green felt chest pain, okay? Well, what happened on the 22nd then? Why do we need to even talk about the 22nd?
Again,
guys.
Now
he had a
he received treatment.
Because he visited the
January.
Because
he visited the clinic.
Visits the clinic, right? He visits us here, right? So we use past perfect to talk about which day.
15th January.
The day before 22nd
We
January.
kind of want to talk about both, don't we? We want to kind of talk about this day in the sense that he came to visit the clinic on this day, but this is the day he felt the pain. I'm going to say that it's finished. Okay.
Yeah.
Who can make me a sentence, a simple sentence using past perfect? If I ask one of you now, maybe Rafaela, make us a simple sentence here that explains this, right? So you're writing on April the 20th, you're writing a letter. What would you say? Go on, Rafaela. So on
the 20th of April.
No, that's the day I'm writing, isn't it? I was thinking that, but that's if you're going to tell me about today,
Yeah.
15th
and
of
then we don't need
January.
past perfect, right? You want to tell me about this day, don't you, Rafaela? That's the day of the visit, right?
Yeah.
So it's visiting us on this day. Let me change the color. So
On
what,
22nd, on the
Yep.
22nd of January.
Good. Yep. Okay.
Mr. Smith.
Yeah, Mr. Smith.
Has been visit.
You could just say attended. Let's just keep it simple.
Attended, yeah, a visit.
Yep.
In our clinic.
Attended our clinic. Yep. Let's just say due to what? What's the problem?
Due to
A chest pain.
previous chest pain.
Well, yeah, we could just say chest pains here if we want, right? But now we want to say that it didn't happen on that day. So what can we say now?
A chest pain or chest pains?
Experience.
We've got Rafaela, but we've also got someone else talking. Go on, sir. We'll
Which
do it together. Yes, go on.
has
Rafaela.
been.
Which has been?
Yeah. Has been.
Has been.
No.
Because we need past perfect. How do we make past
Which
perfect?
had been.
Had been.
We need
had been,
don't we? Which had been.
Which had been since the 15th of January.
But see, this is one of the key issues, and we're going to go into this in this class. I'm just for now, Rafaela. I know why you're worried, because you're thinking, is this finished or not? Is it repeating or not? Yeah. I'm just going to make it simple for you. This was one chest pain.
Okay.
One time.
Okay. Which he had one event of chest pain.
Yeah, or we could let's just say had happened. Okay, we'll just keep it simple. So, which had happened. Okay, when?
On the 15th of January.
On the 15th of January. Okay.
Can you say 1 week prior to this that?
Well, we're going to get into all of this. We're going to do all this. Could you say 1 week prior, which had happened 1 week prior? Yes, but it depends on something that's already confusing. I think, Rafaela, and we'll get into that. But I just want to present a simple example before we get into the complicated examples.
Maybe for 1 week.
I'm not going into that yet. There's a diagram coming, and we can talk about all that. But does everyone understand what's going on? The basics.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Maybe chest pain is confusing, but this is why we're going to talk about it. Let's say he had he had a cut. He cut his hand, a deep cut on his hand, right? So I could say which had happened. Now it makes a bit more sense to everyone, maybe, right? Because it's not repeating, is it?
No.
Okay, so on the 22nd of January, Mr. Smith attended our clinic due to chest pains, which had not chest pains, due to a cut, right? Cut hand, which had happened on the 15th of January. Does anyone have any questions about the basic logic of this now? I'm writing here, okay? But I'm telling you about this day here, okay? But on that day, he didn't cut his hand. It was on this day here. Any questions about that before we move on to more complicated things? Anyone?
Okay.
But
We all
Alan, first time it's happening in 15th of January.
It's the only time it happened. It's just one cut on his hand. Yeah.
Finished.
And after second, it's happening in 20.
And it's just a cut on the hand. He's not continually cutting his hand, right? It's just happened one time, right?
Yes,
so
it's
one
finished.
cut on hand.
Sorry, Alan.
Yes, go on.
Can I ask? Should I add the pronoun before had in these sentences?
That's a good question. Which you can put the pronoun, yeah, if you want. It's optional. Good question, right? So well, not for this, but there's options where you can, but not here. Which he had happened? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
No, not for this one, because in a sense that it's this here that we're using. Okay. But we could say a second sentence, and then start to put in a subject to the sentence.
All right.
Any other questions about the general idea? I'll say it again. We're writing on this day. We're talking about a visit on this day, but the action happened on the day, 7 days before. Yes, question?
Alan, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we exchange the events when we are using past perfect? Like, for example, in this example, which had happened, can we use it in the first sentence and then followed with the second past event?
This is a good point. In this case, it's a relative clause, so you can't start the sentence with a relative clause. But I think your point is right. You can, because of past perfect, it doesn't matter which way round you say the sentences, right? So you could say, let's do it like this, just to show your point. On the 22nd of January, Mr. Tentacle due to cut hand, and then you could say, this had happened on the 15th of January, right? What you're saying is, does that sentence have to come after?
Yep, yeah, that's my point. Which one can we exchange the events? Like when you are using...
I think she means to say Mr. X had
experience
his hand on 15 January, and he visited our clinic.
Ah, right. So in that sense, yes, you could just use past simple and say, on the 15th of January, yes, of January.
Actually, I have an example here on the chat. Mr. Jones had experienced a chest pain on the 5th of January before he visited our clinic on the 22nd of January.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's correct.
Just want to make that clear to everyone else. What she's saying is, because of past perfect tells us the order of the events, okay? We'll see this a bit more later, right? You can actually swap them round. Because we're using past perfect, because of that had, that tells the reader, hey, this one happened before the other one, right? That's its meaning. It's not the order of the sentence that tells us that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
word. We don't always need to tell this one happened before or after.
I'll give you a simple example of this.
Past perfect tells us which happened first.
Exactly. So imagine I said this to you guys. I've said, I got on the bus. I had waited for 5 minutes.
Had waited is the past perfect there.
But it was the second sentence, right?
Yeah, you changed it.
Or was it the first event or the second event?
First you go.
The second event had waited.
Second event, right? Let me just make that clear, right? I got on the bus. I had waited for 5 minutes.
So
even though the second sentence is second,
it's the first one that happened.
The first event, right? And that's the whole idea behind past perfect. We're saying that something happened before a past event. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
sir, I have a question, sir.
Go on.
Sir, this had happened on 15th January. On 15th January is timestamp, no? Then.
Yeah, it's a good question. Can we say this? Can we say on the 15th January? You can. With present perfect, though, you can't.
Yeah. Okay. Past perfect, we can mention the time.
Good question, right?
Okay, thank you.
Well, no. The time is still complicated. We will talk about that, but you can. It's an interesting point. You can say on the 15th of January. Okay. But with present perfect, you couldn't say that. It's not allowed to say on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really, really good, Benita. Okay. Now, I know you probably have some more complex questions, but let's go into we have to go into this slowly, right? So I hope that's clear in terms of the basics. But let me show you these two sentences and let me ask you this puzzle. What's the difference between these two sentences here? On the 6th of December 2017, Mr. Green presented with ongoing dizziness, which he had had in the last 2 weeks. On the 6th of December, Mr. Green presented after a fall, which he had experienced in the last 2 weeks. I'm going to change this one, which is experienced.
First one is still going on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh, so who said that?
I said Rika.
In a way, it's been, you've already kind of got there before me, in a sense, when Rafaela was getting confused. So go on, Rika. The first one.
Because ongoing. That's why I'm thinking still it is ongoing.
Ah, right. And whereas the second one?
Second one, which he has.
After
perfect, definitely.
Okay, this one.
Finished.
Finished.
Now, Rafael, if you could come back on the microphone, was that what you were kind of like? You seemed to be thinking about something. Was that what you were thinking about partly earlier on? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one is ongoing. I've made it very easy, right? This one is ongoing.
Yeah, still going. Yeah.
But the second one is
Finished.
one single finished event.
Yeah.
All right. But let's be clear about what that means in past perfect. Because remember, right, we're here. Right? So let's look at these. I've got some more diagrams here. Let's look at this. Here we have a diagram that we can think about here. Look, dizziness or pain, like the last example, right? So you can see the dates. Let's just quickly look at these dates here, guys. So imagine I'm here and I'm writing, okay? But I'm writing about dizziness or pain, okay? Where's the clinic visit, guys? Where are they visiting the clinic?
On 20.
Here, right? They visit up here. But in this example, when does the dizziness start?
On the 10th.
On the 10th.
10 days before.
But is it finished?
No.
No, it's ongoing.
It's continuous between these days, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But what about now? Is it finished now? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know,
right?
But if we're using past perfect, we're just talking about this one
Yeah.
to this one. Unfinished. Right? Does that make sense, guys? Someone's making a house. Have you just put your microphone off? Microphones off, please. Who wants to try and make a sentence using this? If you understand this diagram, you should be able, with me, to make a simple sentence. If I ask someone here like Desiree, could you help me out with this?
Okay.
So let's think about this diagram here. So let's just take dizziness, all right?
Okay.
All right. And I've even got the words for you here already, right? So can you see this sentence here?
On the 20 March,
Yeah.
Mr.
So
Green clinic dizziness and
yeah, so it's dead easy, right, for you. So I'm not really making it really hard. So on the 22nd of March, what do I need here?
Had experienced dizziness.
But just here, come on, I need a
I March.
comma.
Comma.
Okay. Mr. Green.
Mr. Green had experienced dizziness. No. Visited 20 March, yes. Visited our clinic or attended our clinic.
Just to stop you there, Desiree. This is the thing that's the problem, right? We have to talk about the clinic first. So
visited or attended or presented to our clinic.
Yep.
Before or after. Before or after or
complaining of dizziness.
He had experienced dizziness 14 days.
So how about just with? You could say with dizziness or
with,
complaining of, you said was probably better. Complaining of dizziness.
Complaining of dizziness.
Good.
And then the second past event, which is in the 10th of March.
We want to go on the 10th now, yeah. Well, look, that's when it started.
It is the past perfect now.
Yeah,
that's
so
the perfect.
Think about the example that we had before, right? Don't worry about that. I don't mind the noise there. Which, right? Which.
Mm-hmm.
So can you help me with this, Desiree? Which.
Okay.
Are you okay there, Desiree?
Sorry, Alan.
No, don't worry, don't worry. It's actually very, very cute. It's very cute. Let's get someone else just to help, though. So maybe Vasilene?
Yes, teacher.
So go on, just help us finish this sentence. So which?
He had experienced.
Yeah. And what do I need here, guys? Can everyone shout out?
For the last 10 days.
4. for 10 days. Okay. So there's two types. When you think about past perfect, you got to think about, is this event finished in the past, of the past, or is it ongoing? Okay. Something like dizziness here. Look, it's a continuous event. Right, it's continuous from one event to another event. Microphones off, please.
Yeah, we are going down. Wait.
Microphones off, please. Okay. Now, so I've said for 10 days, but I could have said something else, couldn't I? I could have said, if I just asked Rachel and Marta.
Alan, can I have a question?
Yeah, sure.
Can we say that Mr. Green had been experiencing dizziness before he presented to me on 20th of March?
And that's coming here. That's past perfect continuous. All right. Who's speaking there?
Faryal.
So Faryal, we'll just jump ahead to this then. Go on. So you can change it, can't you? You can say, instead of saying which he had experienced, guys, right? This is past perfect. He had experienced. That's the form. She's saying you can say which he had
been experiencing.
Been
experiencing.
Okay.
And it still happen.
I can say, how long though? Faryal?
10 days.
For 10 days. 10 days.
Right? Yeah. Now, this one is exactly the same. So I'm going to put it in the same diagram today. It's got the same kind of meaning. It's continuous action from one point to another point. But let me just ask you guys a question. I can say for, but also, Catalina, I can say
since.
I can say since. So what can I say here? So on the 20th of March, Mr. Green visited our clinic complaining of dizziness, which he had experienced
since 10th
March.
10th March. Since 10th
of
March.
Okay. So notice how we've got for and since here. They're very, very important.
So actually it's the past before the past.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of, yes.
We're talking about this time here, yeah. But here it's unfinished time. It's unfinished actions, right?
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, now we can get to the more complex questions. Go on.
So can we say simply visited our clinic complaining of dizziness for 10 days duration?
No, you can't. You have to use past perfect. Yeah, you can. There are other things you can say though. Sometimes people say things like with a 10-day history. Does anyone ever use that in their essays?
Yeah.
Yes, I used. So this one is also
okay.
incorrect.
Sorry?
This one is also incorrect.
No, this one's all right, but the one that you said is wrong because you're using for, and it's not correct. Yeah, you have to use past perfect. Okay, but you can say with a 10-day history of dizziness if you want, right? But
so visited our clinic complaining of dizziness. Oh no. Visited with a 10-day history of dizziness.
Yeah, right. I'll put that here with a 10-day history of dizziness. Sorry. But I don't think you need to worry. I mean, look, you can do that, guys, if you want. But look, it's really not hard. You just have to say which, right? He had experience for 10 days. It's not that hard to use the past perfect in terms of writing it down, right? It's not that complex. And if you focus on today's class, you should be able to have a good understanding of it, I think. Anyone, any other questions? I'm going to open this out.
Yeah, but
I have.
Go on, say your name.
Rika.
Go on, Rika.
If symptoms are like going until today's visit, like green one, so we have to use like present perfect continue.
If they're still going to today, then it's a different situation, right? You're talking about today then. You can use present perfect.
Like it started from the 10th March.
Yeah.
Still the patient is saying, I am experiencing the same symptoms from the 10th March.
Yeah, but it's a completely different situation. You're not going to use past perfect.
No,
right?
no, present perfect continue.
Yeah, you might be using present perfect or you might use the present tense.
Yeah.
Different ways, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's be clear, guys. We use the past perfect when we're going through a timeline of events, right? As we always say in the story paragraph, the timeline, right? We need it for that, but we don't need it to talk about now.
Yeah.
Right? This day is not necessary to bring past perfect into it. Okay, good question. Any more?
Yeah, hello.
Go on,
for since and for, I thought we use them in present perfect.
We do. And when we use them in present perfect, it means that the action is still happening now on this day, right? But when we use them in past perfect, what does it mean, guys?
It's finished.
Unfinished.
No. Since and for in the past perfect tell us that the action
is unfinished.
Between the two
dates.
Previous dates
Wait.
is unfinished. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
So what are the two previous dates here?
10
and 20.
Right? So that's what we're saying. We're not saying it's unfinished here. We're saying it's unfinished between these two dates. Who can give me an example with pain? Does anyone want to give me just, I was thinking anyone who wants to try and make a sentence, okay? But pain is sometimes continuous as well, isn't it? Who wants to try and make me a brand new one using the word pain? Anyone want to try? Put your microphone on if you're feeling...
On 20 March, Mr. Green visited our clinic complaining of pain,
Yeah,
which
complaining of pain.
He had been experiencing for 10 days.
Good. So you're using which? Are you using past perfect or past perfect? That's
Yeah.
okay. So that's past perfect continuous, right? And it has exactly the same meaning here, guys. I'm just teaching it at the same time because it's the same. But if I wanted to use past perfect, who could make past perfect? Which he had
experienced it since 10 of March.
Since the 10th of March. Yeah, since the 10th of March. Can I use a go, guys?
Can you say which he had for 10 days?
Yeah, we do say had sometimes. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? But yeah, so you can say had. Can we say a go, guys?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
No a go here. What about earlier? Can I say earlier, which he had
No.
10 days earlier?
No.
It really works for a continuous action from one point to the other. Any other questions about what words you can use? Can I say? Yeah.
We can use before.
What about time? There was a male voice there. Who's that? Is that Farzad?
Yeah.
Go on, Farzad.
Can we say experience since 10 days prior to that visit?
You can't say since, but you could say for 10 days, right? Because for is the duration, but since is the starting point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right.
You want to emphasize when it started.
You could emphasize that though, but you could say it like that, but just get the right one. It's not
Alan?
that one. Yes.
Could we say like Mr. Green visited clinic with pain? That means that during his visit he still feel this pain.
Yeah.
Feeling.
Yeah. Because you can do that because you're not talking about when it started. That's fine, right? But if you want to be precise, the case notes sometimes say something like 10 days, right? They don't just say pain. They say pay 10 days and they give you the date, don't they?
Okay.
So you could say he visited the clinic with pain. That's fine, but you're not being accurate with the case notes. Right?
Sorry.
Yes, go on.
Can we say experience 10 days prior to that visit?
Yeah, you can say prior to that visit. Yeah, but again, it's a bit redundant because you've already said it. You know what I mean? It's not necessary because you've already done it, but you can emphasize it. Here's a nice phrase you can say, guys. At that point. Has anyone ever seen?
Yeah.
Heard this.
Yeah.
But it sounds really good in this situation. So I could put it here, right? I'll put it here. Since at that point. What does that mean, guys? At that point.
Emphasize the 10 days.
In that stage.
Yeah, you're saying at that time, like maybe that's not true now, but at that point it had been 10 days.
True, yeah.
Right. It's a very nice little thing to add in, guys. At that point. Okay, nice phrase. Any more questions before I move on to the second one? Because there's one more coming. Yeah.
Can I use so far?
Go on, Han. Sorry, let me just look at the name.
Can I use so far instead of at that point?
I don't think you can use so far because I think that makes me think that I'm here now. Right?
Make confused.
Yeah, so you can't use so far. I'm going to put these here. These kind of things are the little things that we all do, don't we, in the exam, and we lose a little bit on that. Okay, that's a good question. One more, please. Yes. Anna, you've had a few. And I'll just stop you. Is there anyone else who's got questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, me.
So Smita, please. Oh, who was it? Was that Marta?
It's me.
Farzad, go on. I'll let you have one more. Go on.
Sorry. Can we say which he had experience for 10 days duration.
Yeah, you could say for 10 days duration, but again, it's redundant. It's not necessary to say it because that word for tells us that that's the duration, right?
I guess for instance, it's full information, right? So it's
say
fine.
that again.
If you use since or for, it's full information. You don't have to add more.
Yeah, exactly. Because for just means the duration, right? For 10 days.
Right.
Okay.
It's like how long, right? Since just means the starting point. This is when it started, since
full
1995.
information.
Okay, now let's have a look at the other option though. So Raphael, if you could come back on again. I was so impressed
Can I
with
ask
what you
you
said
one
in the group.
question?
Yeah, go on. One more.
Can we use past perfect in today visit?
No. Well, see, it's to talk about a past event with another past event here, okay? But you could imagine they came in today and they had a new symptom that started yesterday. You could use it then. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, any more?
Thank
Okay,
you.
fantastic. Now, guys, there's another situation though. Rafaela was, I think, thinking about this, and I was very impressed with what she said in the group. Rafaela, there's another situation, isn't there, where the event's finished, right? Yeah. So, Rafaela, could you come back on the mic and we'll make a sentence together?
Okay.
So in this case, look, guys, the difference in this diagram is we're talking about a fall. Is that a continuous action?
No.
No.
You only fall one. Hopefully, you only fall one time. One time event, like cutting your hand, right? Yeah. So in this case, you might say on the 20th of March, Rafaela, 20th of March.
Yeah, on the 20th of March, Mr. Green attended to our visit.
Our clinic.
Okay.
I was thinking due to a fall.
Due to a fall, yeah. He had.
Yeah, if you want to do a new sentence, he had
a fall.
He had fallen.
He had fallen, yeah. On the 10th. No, he had fallen 10 days before.
10 days. You can actually say earlier.
Okay.
Earlier. Should we use since and for here, guys?
No.
I can't say he had fallen since.
No.
Why not?
It's a finished action.
No.
It's a finished
action. He had fallen for 10 days. What does that mean? It's quite a funny thought. It's like he's falling for 10 days. Okay, good. So he had fallen. Now, Rafaela, I'm just I tend to like it in a relative clause in OET because you can make more complex sentences, can't you? So you could say, what's missing here?
Which.
Okay, but we now need to change it, right? How about which had
a fall?
An event?
Fell. Had fell.
I can't say fall, but I could say something meaning an action. What's the word for action? Which had happened. Which is very useful for any kind of injuries, right? Injuries use happen. Okay. Now, can I use? Yeah. Spelling on this. Now, can I use anything else? What about other time things here?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Can I say on 20th March, Mr. Green attended our clinic following a falling.
Say that again. So on 20th March, following a fall. Is that
right? Following a fall.
Yeah, you can. There's all alternatives to past perfect, like a history of. So following a fall, he visited our clinic. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, or you can say following a fall in 10th of March.
Yeah, you can, right? But is it in, guys? Do I want in here? Do I want in? I want on. So following a fall on 10th of March, Mr. Green visits our clinic. That's a good one.
Can we?
Yep, I'll put this here.
Can we say Miss Green attended our clinic with a complaining of strain following a fall.
Complaining of, yeah, a strain following a fall. You can do that, good. But if I want to say how long ago, right? Let's be clear, guys. The case note, we're not talking about, you can talk about this day if you want, and you can say what he said. But how are you going to deal with the case notes that say 10 days? The case notes will say when it happened. Now, it's not that important. Maybe you can just do following a fall. But if you want to say 10 days earlier, then you want to use your past perfect. If you don't want to say 10 days earlier, that's fine. But you're not going to tell the reader that then. Okay? Maybe that would be important to the reader. I don't know. Any other questions about this one now? Notice how this is finished in the past. We're not using since and for, are we? No since and for. Why?
Because it's done.
Done, exactly.
Yes,
It's not
finished.
ongoing. It's not ongoing between those 2 points. So no since and for. The action is done. I like that. The action is done. What about, I've got some things written down here. I thought you guys might ask me about things like over the last. Well, what about over the last? Or does anyone have any timestamps they want to ask me about? Like, what happens if I say this? What about in, on?
Which had happened 10 days ago.
Now, can I say ago? Yeah, what do you
No.
think, guys?
No.
No. This word ago is so annoying. Just use it with past simple.
Okay. Yeah.
Any more? What about continuous? Can I use the continuous like this? Can I say had been experiencing? Something like that? Maybe? I'm not actually sure about this.
No, about phone, no.
I can't say had been.
So from
Maybe
pain, yes.
If it was the pain, then it's ongoing.
Yeah,
You could say, yeah.
makes sense.
But I couldn't say, let me just copy it here, which had been happening, right?
If it's happening more than once, maybe.
Yeah. Interesting. Who said that?
Wow.
If it had been happening more than, we can't say this here, but if it had been happening more than once, maybe that would be a situation, wouldn't it? Right?
Yeah.
So we can't say 10 days earlier, but we could say, give us that example. I might say, imagine she's been having a number of different falls because her balance is really bad.
Yeah.
It's a repeated action.
May I have a question? Can we say which had happened in the previous 10 days?
In the previous, no, you can't say in the previous, exactly. Wait a second, maybe you can, let me just check. Which had happened 10 days in the yeah, you could.
10 days earlier.
You could actually. Let me put it onto the diagram for us. You could say, this is the kind of thing I was interested in actually, because it's hard, but you could say happened, which had happened in the previous 10 days. Yes, you can. Yes. Good. Okay, any more questions about timestamps and that kind of thing? Okay, so we've got this idea, haven't we, of sometimes the action is continuous from this point to this point, but it's not happening now as we're writing. Sometimes it's happened only once, like this. Okay, and we're talking about this day here, but the action is here in the past. Let's look at a specific example now. Okay, I'm going to show you some case notes, and I'm going to set you the problem of writing me a correct sentence. All right, these are going to be doctor's case notes. We're going to look at Barry Jones. Has anyone done Barry Jones before? Has anyone done Barry Jones? That's good. Okay, well, we don't. Oh, someone has. Who is that?
Josga.
Okay, so tell us you can see his injury here. Could you just explain what his injury is, though? What does it say?
Wants to return to work after back injury.
Okay, so
yeah,
the problem, his problem is the back injury.
Back injury, yeah.
All we need to know to practice today, guys, is just his name's Barry Jones. He had a back injury. Okay, everyone clear on that?
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at these case notes here now. Okay, imagine you wanted to talk about these case notes. I think you have different options, right? Why do we have two options here? Well, let's talk. If no one, yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Maybe a hand.
We can.
There's two options here. I can talk about the strain, can't I? A strain happens one time.
Yeah, I also
continue.
Or I could talk about the
Pain.
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 Is that finished or unfinished, the pain between those two times?
Pain is unfinished.
Right? So let's think about the two times. The first time is, when did he visit us?
21st of March.
That's the visiting time. But when did he injure his back?
4 days ago.
4
days previous to that. So what was the date of the injury?
25.
17 of March.
17.
Can't see the number now, yeah. Yeah, so the 17th
of
17th.
Okay.
17, yeah.
So this is my challenge to you. Can you write me a sentence about Barry Jones? I mean, just like we saw before, but this is your challenge. Barry Jones. I'll stop talking. Get your pens ready. Imagine you're in the exam and you have to write this sentence. And you're thinking, oh yeah, I remember Alan's class on past perfect. I'm just going to do it like this. All right? So off you go. Write a sentence and then you can read them to me later. You can also put them into the chat box as well. Okay, so task. Write a sentence about this injury using past perfect. You can type into the chat box if you want, or you can just write it on paper and read it to me. I don't mind either one. We're going to say goodbye to people on Facebook. Hope it was useful today. You don't get to do this part. Sorry about that. But I'll say goodbye.